Hello everyone, first impression of the latest games Horizon. As usual, it's Mike Jake, and today we are talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now this is the newest in a long-running JRPG series, and just like 2, which I really enjoyed, this one is pretty great so far. Now keep in mind we did not get very much early access to this game, so this is a slightly strong first impressions. We dumped as many hours as we could into this thing just to get you some basic info, and so far unless a major red flag pops up like 17 in our thumbnail, all signs point to yes, there is a couple of glaring issues, but overall I'm still really enjoying it. Monolith Soft like once again built a fantastical unequal world and a massive compelling JRPG adventure that is accessible at the start and grows bigger and deeper into these crazy things as it gets from both story to gameplay elements. So first, story-wise, without spoiling anything, just the basic. If you have not played previous entries, that's fine, you can start here. This is a self-contained story, their connection to previous games. If you did play, but you will be fine jumping into this invention, new characters, new thing. This one leans really heavy on sci-fi style. The vibe is totally different, and it's everything from Via Pony to warfare to different colonies and really cool robots. There's a lot of the chew into if you like this stuff, but it's really a story about a group of friends that are like soldiers who are literally bred to fight and then just die of all. In the span of 10 years they are literally fooled by the deaths of their enemies in what seems to be just endless sad battle of colonies on this planet, but of course this is a lot more to it. This group of soldiers quickly ends up with the world against them and with unlikely allies, so it's up to them to go on an adventure featuring varying groups for some courageous massive landscapes and tons of word-spoken mythical bad guys. Now it's a story that gets super completed, but ultimately it's one that's told through a current timeline and some really interesting flashbacks, and it's ultimately at least of me something about loss and friendship. There are tons of lengthy constants, so get ready. This is an unlikely band of heroes, then turns out to be an everything group. Every character is unique and has their own quirks and charms, and it's great to get to know them. You know, we play so many games where it's a band of characters, but after a while it feels like you can only have so many ideas, and characters feel like a generic archetype of some other game you played, but it still managed to really like them. Here they still managed to pull it off and make them feel a little different. The writing is a bit over the top and really tries to kind of like endlessly smack you like with hammer home some of the points, but ultimately it just chock full of emotion. You know, every couple of steps, every time you are in a new area, you are just dumped with the emotion of those characters, what they are thinking, how they are feeling about their world, and it can be overwhelming, but it's that anime style and it works. I really like a lot of these characters, and just now how their fighters are intertwined makes for some cool story, but also bleeds into the gameplay concepts in clever voice. Now the flow in the story wandering across massive beautiful landscapes, fighting courageous, collecting things, and maybe doing some side quests. Many of the side quests so far actually being pretty solid and actually rewarding. Now the exploration, it is simple. There's courageous items to pick up, not a ton of interaction, just a bunch of mindless enemies wandering the landscapes, but still is just enough. Now speaking of wandering these landscapes, you might see in this video the art direction is 1 point. Once again the world feels massive, you know, like the sense of scale of things in the distance is so non-acute to the series. In a weird way it gives the world and the vibe like a really unacute identity with stuff like this, but unfortunately graphically the game looks like a mess. I don't usually harp on this stuff, graphics are not everything, but this one in sports seriously just hurt my eyes, and I heard in the experience a bit the resolution will things look blurry, and a lot of times it really holds back. What is otherwise a beautiful color palette and character designs, and I'm talking docked and hand-landed mod, hardware limitations, but worth pointing out now. Like many a JRPG, it takes a bit to really get going, but once it clicks, man, it's some good stuff. Combat is kind of like a more stacked versions of auto-attacking in the main bit here, but of course it's all about managing positions, managing cooldowns, and efficiently using your arts and changing them and building them up together with your alias everyone has an IQ. Thanks for watching, goodbye.